Wyoming County, more than 150 years of history. More than 150 years of building that reflects the county's long association with agriculture and the dairy industry. Unlike many of its neighbors, Wyoming County has maintained much of its rural character. Because of its relatively unique nature, the Landmark Society of Western New York, one of the oldest and most active preservation organizations in the country, has chosen Wyoming County for its Western New York Rural Preservation Project. The Wyoming County Survey is funded by the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, and the J.M. Kaplan Fund. The survey was designed to closely study the agricultural areas of a rural county, identify its historical and architectural resources, and develop effective strategies for their preservation. It is the first county-wide rural survey ever to be undertaken in the state. What is the survey? It's an inventory of rural properties built before 1940. Villages and hamlets are not included as the survey's focus is on rural resources, and much information has already been gathered on village sites in preparation of the Arts Council of Wyoming County's photographic study. Each summer since 1987, Landmark staff and interns have photographed and recorded information on a wide variety of buildings. All work has been conducted from the roadside, except when surveyors were invited by property owners to take a closer look. County historian John Wilson, the town historians, and other interested citizens have also provided valuable background information. More than 2,000 sites have already been surveyed in the towns of Arcade, Attica, Bennington, Covington, Java, Middlebury, Orangeville, Perry, Sheldon, and Warsaw. In most cases, the surveyors have classified the buildings according to architectural styles. The style helps reveal when a structure was first built and gives information on the community's settlement patterns. Design details of a building indicate its architectural style. These examples are of the federal style, the earliest style found in the county. They were most likely built between 1800 and 1830. These classically inspired Greek Revival-style homes and even a Greek Revival-style barn in Sheldon were probably built between 1825 and 1860 when that style was popular. The Italianate style of these houses in Attica and Orangeville are recognized by their wide overhanging eaves, roof brackets, and cupolas, dating from between 1860 and 1890. Gothic Revival style is characterized by steep-pitched gable roofs, decorated eaves, and window hoods, as on these fine examples, built during the mid-19th century. Houses built during the late 19th century often display interesting shingle patterns in their gables, like this Queen Anne in Attica and this one in Warsaw. Hillside in Middlebury is a dramatic example of an early 20th century remodeling of a mid-19th century home to show the newly fashionable colonial revival style. It's also important as an example of the work of a noted architect, Bryant Fleming. Other 20th century styles include this Java bungalow style and this Bennington American four-square house. By far the largest number of residences surveyed are representative of a style that has always been popular throughout our country's history, the vernacular style. Vernacular homes have character and significance because of their form and massing, but have very little of the specific design details shown in the historic architectural styles. It's the simplicity of these buildings that give them their beauty and classifies them as vernacular style. Surveyors have even classified the county's barns. There are gambrel roof banked barns such as the famous Ramp Barn in Middlebury, or this Dutch gambrel barn in Arcade, this gable roof English barn in Covington, this banked barn in Sheldon. Other agriculturally related buildings have also been inventoried, such as this silo, this smokehouse in Bennington, and this sugar house in Middlebury. The survey has recorded information on churches, on cemeteries, the Wyoming Central School, commercial and industrial buildings, bridges like the Crossman Road Bridge in Covington, and even historic signs are included in the survey. While Wyoming County was selected because it has maintained much of its rural character, the survey indicates it has nonetheless experienced some changes that pose potential threats to the county's historic resources. This includes changes in uses for buildings as they become no longer needed for their original purpose due to shifts in population densities. Changes in agricultural practices, such as this new method of housing calves, has made some barns superfluous. Dwindling congregations have resulted in the closing of some churches and their conversion to other uses. This church in Bennington is now a residence. When school districts were centralized, this schoolhouse was abandoned. Others, such as this one in Bennington, have been converted to residences. This Sheldon rail station is now a private home. Lack of use has also led to the loss of some of the county's historic resources. This barn has been demolished as well as this one. This once handsome Greek Revival-style home in Orangeville has an uncertain future. New construction can also bring changes to the county's landscape, as well as the remodeling of 19th century homes. Through photographic surveys, interviews with town historians, and other county residents, the Wyoming County Survey has gathered a wide variety of information. This information can benefit county residents in several ways. The historic documentation can enhance the school's local history programs, giving young people a sense of pride in their community's heritage. The resource can aid in the development of special events, visitor brochures, and other materials for the promotion of tourism, an important and growing county industry. Using the specific information from the survey, residents can identify appropriate sources of technical assistance, such as the National Trust's Barn Again program aimed at historic barn preservation. The survey identifies structures which have architectural or historical significance to their local communities and the county as a whole. Resources that had value for their role in the county's development during the past 150 years, resources that have value today for their ability to serve as visible reminders of the past and for their visual appeal. They should be preserved for future generations. The Wyoming County Survey will have its greatest value if the resource identification information can be used in future land use planning. If it can provide town and county boards and planning boards with an increased level of knowledge about their environment that can be incorporated into their decision-making. The Western New York Rural Preservation Project focused on Wyoming County for its relatively unaltered rural landscape and its wealth of barns and other types of agricultural buildings. This survey will identify the county's important historic and architectural resources, but it's up to all the residents to determine what place these resources should have in the lives of future generations.